This podcast is brought to you by Contessa Digital.
When I was a freshman in high school, I was in love with a senior. And in an attempt to show this senior that I was grown and mature and sexy and all of that, I made the decision to show up to school one day in heels. Well, to be more accurate, so that my parents wouldn't find out, I made the decision to show up to school one day in tennis shoes and change into a pair of heels. But I digress. The only problem with this plan of mine is that I was never a fan of heels, and I am not now. I currently have a 3 at the front of my age, and I am 5'3" as far as my height goes, and I still do not wear heels other than the occasional 1 inch or 2 inch. Flats are my best friends. So I show up to school, I put these heels on thinking that I am going to be so cute. And of course, he's going to see me and he's going to see that I am much more mature and wiser than my, at the time, 14 years. And of course, he's going to be just as in love with me as I am with him. And I put these heels on, I walk by him, and it doesn't take very long before, of course, I trip and fall flat on my face. And, I quickly take the shoes off and run to a bathroom and try to get refuge from, having been seen falling like that. But later on, I run into this guy, and, he is one of the men who, from a very early age, gave me faith in the idea that good men exist. Because I will never forget, he pulled me aside. He said that he saw me because, of course, I had walked right by him right before tripping. And he told me that it was so brave of me. And I was like, brave? What are you talking about? And he tells me that he knows that I knew I could not walk in heels before I tried that little stunt. And yet, for some reason, I still had the bravery and the confidence to do it. And this is what I want to talk about: confidence and what it really means to have confidence in your relationships. So, welcome to Confidently Cherished. Yes, confidence even in the name of this podcast. If this is your first time listening to me, my name is Keshia Rice. I am a dating coach and hypnotherapist. I help ambitious, high-value, amazing, sensational women learn how to heal their unhealthy relationship patterns and create healthy, cherished relationships. So this whole idea of confidence, I was actually interviewed on another podcast, and hopefully I will be able to share that with you soon. But in that interview, we got on the subject of how do you feel more confident when you are out here in these dating streets? How do you really learn to show up as your best self and just, put your best face forward? And I told her that, I think, honestly, and feel free to disagree with me on this, but, I'm only a certified dating coach who's had plenty of years experience in the dating world and is now married. And, I've dealt with all these things in relationships, right? I've been there, I've done that. But the thing about confidence is it's not something that you just magically wake up with one day, right? So this whole idea of one day feeling confident enough to do something, I think that if you think that that is what's going to happen to you, that you're just going to journal and inner work yourself into feeling confident, I think that you are setting yourself up for failure, honestly. Confidence comes from being and doing. Confidence, we talk so much about masculine and feminine energy, and I think that confidence is the ultimate example of those two energies blending, right? Because confidence comes a lot from doing, just going out and doing the thing. Anytime you learn something, if, like me, you were a band geek in school and you learned to play an instrument, or if you've ever learned another language, or you learned to cook, you learned, insert whatever hobby. When you first started learning this thing, you were not very confident, and it only came with doing and with practicing that you became better and you became more confident in the thing. So there's this masculine energy of doing, and there's also this feminine energy of being. And by being, I mean that the best way to become confident at doing something is to be the person who does the thing, right? So again, I was a band geek in school. I played trumpet. So the way to be confident as a trumpet player was to be a trumpet player, right? To go out there and play. And yes, I was doing the masculine, but I was also being, because that is what a trumpet player is, a person who plays the trumpet. So when it comes to creating this confidence in dating and relationships, you have to be that woman who doesn't have a problem starting a conversation with men. You have to be that woman who doesn't have a problem getting out of her house and, going outside and making new connections. You have to be that woman who doesn't have a problem sometimes spending time by herself, going out by herself. The best way to meet quality men, just a little bit of inside baseball, a quick secret here. One of the best ways to meet quality men is to put yourself in position in the right places, so places where these men frequent, but to do so alone, because you have to understand that men are just as afraid of rejection, if not more afraid of rejection than we are. So oftentimes, if you are out and you're with a group of your homegirls, like, the guy may think that you're the most beautiful woman in the room, but he's afraid to approach, because if he approaches you and you are not interested, not only are you going to be rejecting him, but everyone in your group is going to clown him too, right? Everyone in the group is essentially going to reject him. So being able to go out alone, spend some time by yourself, show that you can have fun by yourself and enjoy your own company, it's one of the sexiest things that you can do, honestly. But back to this confidence thing. A confident woman in dating is someone who doesn't mind being that type of woman who sets boundaries, who sets standards, and has no problem communicating those boundaries and those standards. And yes, I know that boundaries are scary for a lot of people. I work with so many women who are recovering people pleasers. And there's always this, okay, if I set a boundary, so-and-so is going to be mad at me. So-and-so is going to be upset. Well, maybe. Maybe they will take the conversation much better than you thought. But maybe they will get upset. You know how you build the confidence to get past that? By allowing it to happen. By setting a boundary, seeing that someone gets upset, and then also seeing that it wasn't the end of the world. Sometimes a relationship ends because it needed to end. Sometimes the other person gets upset, but they get over it. Sometimes the person is upset for a second, but then they realize that you are right, that they have been taking advantage of you, and that the relationship needs to change. So You don't know what the outcome is going to be until you do it. And until you do it, you won't have the confidence to do it. So I want you to know that, yes, I want you to be confident. I want you to go out there and get the things that you want, to put yourself in the position to get the things that you want and to actually get them. I want you to receive love and happiness and abundance. I want you to receive all the good things in the world. But we don't just receive those things because we're amazing women who deserve them. We receive those things because we have the confidence to go after them. And we obtain the confidence to go after them by going after them, by doing the thing. So that is your journal prompt for tonight. I would like you to take out pen and paper and write down, in what areas of your life are you playing small? And what is something that you can actually do to improve your confidence? If you are afraid of having conversations with men, maybe you can start practicing those conversations with a friend. If you are afraid that your unhealthy relationship patterns are going to repeat themselves, then it is time for you to see a therapist or to see me, and we can work through that in coaching. If you are afraid of, being rejected, then you need to understand that rejection is a part of life. And if you go out on dates, you will get rejected, but you will also become closer and closer to the man who is going to love you so much that you will forget that rejection ever existed. So ask yourself, how are you playing small, and how do you change that? In the meantime, I would love to know what you thought of this episode, what questions you have. And yes, if you have found one or two things that you can do to be more confident, get how I said that, things that you can do to be more confident, ways in which you can express your masculine energy to improve your feminine energy. If you have those things, feel free to DM me and let me know what those are. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Keshia Rice, KESHIARICE. And I will talk to you soon, confidently knowing that I am going to hear so many great responses from you. Love you. Bye. Hey there. So you made it all the way to the end of the episode, which means I have two things to say. One, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And two, you like me. You really like me. So I would appreciate it if you would show that like by subscribing to this podcast so that more people can hear about it and enjoy it as much as you do. And if you want to know more about any of the links that I mentioned on this episode or any guests that I've had, be sure to go to KeshiaRice.com/links. That's KeshiaRice.com/links. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode. So see you then.